Good morning, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome everyone to another Jewish morning meditation. I am David Eli Grunland, and let us continue where we were. We previously were speaking about matters that have no measure according to the Torah. The Torah tells us do this thing, but it doesn't tell us how much of that thing to do. Today we're going to look at the concept of bikurim, which is incredibly timely to date us. Today is the 2nd of Sivan, of the Jewish month of Sivan. This month, in the next few days, today is a Wednesday, this coming Motzei Shabbat, Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday here outside of Israel, is the holiday of Shavuot. And Shavuot was the time when the Jewish people would bring their bikurim, this offering that has no measure. So what were bikurim? Bikurim were the first fruits that when a farmer in Israel would gather their crop, the first fruits of their crops from the new year, those crops were planted at Passover, and now they've had 50 days to mature, and so you're getting the first fruits of the land, of the fields, and bringing those first fruits as an offering to Hashem in the Beit HaMikdash. This was a ceremony, this was something that everybody did, that they brought these first fruits as an offering to Hashem. And there was no measure about how many or how much of this first fruit to bring, just that it was important to bring it. So what does that have to do with us today, when I'm outside of Israel in Toronto, when we don't have a Beit HaMikdash even in Israel, where most people aren't farmers? And we say this every day as part of our prayer service when we're saying the blessings over Torah reading. And we say this idea that there's no measure to bikurim. What am I supposed to take away from that on a daily basis? The bikurim, again, were the first fruits. What are the first fruits of our labor? And I think that really the easiest way to look at it is, what are the things to which I give priority? Where do I prioritize my time? Who gets my first fruits? Who gets that number one when I'm prioritizing 1, 2, 3, 4, creating my list? What goes in that number one spot? That is the first of my fruits. Reshit bikurei admatecha, which technically means the firsts of the crops of your fields. To say, it could be, I'm just kind of playing with this right now, the word admatecha, that we're saying the first crops that emerge from your field, Adam is also the word for human. It's the first of what we do in our lives as humans, as people. Where do I dedicate my time? Where do I dedicate my efforts? And that is a challenge that it's putting here, that there's actually no measure. There are a million places to which I could give my time and effort. And when it comes to prioritizing and saying what should come first in my life on this given day, how much time am I going to dedicate to that thing? Because there's no shiur, there's no official measure. It doesn't mean spend an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 8 hours doing that thing that I prioritize. It could be 1 minute or 2 minutes. But when I'm doing it, I have to be doing it from my reshit. I have to be giving it first priority. I have to be going with it all the way and doing everything that I can to make sure that that first priority feels like first priority, that it recognizes its kedusha, its sanctity in my life. Because that's what makes something a bikurim. That's what makes something a bikurim she'ein lahem shiur. That I bring it to Hashem, to the house of Hashem, that this becomes the essence of my being in that moment. And as much as we can say that in a grand scale for our whole day, that I prioritize one thing or to another thing, it should also be the case in everything individually, that in every moment, that moment should be my priority. In every moment, how much time am I taking to ensure that I'm doing it with my reshit? How much am I doing to ensure that when I'm at home, I'm bringing my best, and I'm making that moment my top priority, and that when I'm at work, I'm making that moment my top priority, and that when I'm in a meeting, I'm making that moment my top priority, and that when I'm walking down the street, am I making that moment my top priority? And when I'm in shul, saying prayers, trying to connect more deeply spiritually, how much am I making that my priority, and how much am I being distracted by other things? And I think that this is the point. When we say that bikurim have no measure, it's saying in a general sense, I need to make sure that I'm prioritizing first things first. But I also need to make sure that at every level along the way, I'm giving everything in its time, in its place, priority for what it is. We should all be blessed that as we go through our days, we should look at the moments we're in, and we should prioritize that very moment. That in that very moment we can be mindful of how unique and special that moment is, and we should give it really our first fruits. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please share it with some friends, and let me know your comments. And if you have any ideas or questions, please let me know. Feel free to share. And I look forward to doing this again sometime soon, hopefully tomorrow, but that doesn't always work out. So we'll see, and may have a great day. Shalom.